Now it's recording. I'm so happy today to have Carol Vaness with us, kicking off our Oops Proof Masterclass series. She really needs no introduction, but I very fondly remember the first day of opera workshop. Carol introduced herself by saying, "Some people may call me a legend, and they're right." And there were never truer words spoken. So, Carol, thank you for being here. And when you're ready to start, Amy Wolf is kicking us off.
Sounds great. I think I also said, if there is anyone in here who does not know me, Google me. Okay, let's go, Amy. What have you got there?
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Should we just go?
Yeah, yes, please.
C'est lui dont la parole efface toute peine. Des prophètes disait, c'est vers lui que je vais. Il est doux, il est beau, sa parole est sereine. Il parle tout c'était, privilégié c'est l'homme. Je souffrais, j'étais seule et mon cœur s'est calmé en écoutant sa voix mélodieuse et tendre. Mon cœur s'est calmé. Reflet de bien-aimé, puis-je vivre sans toi? Vivre sans toi. C'est là quand je désire la foule détournée, avait ses pas, qu'elle m'entendait toujours avant d'abandonner, et qu'elle m'ouvrait ses bras. Il est doux, il est beau, sa parole est sereine. Il parle tout ce privilégié c'est l'homme. L'air attentif passe sans bruit. Il parle. Encore viendra-t-il? Quand pourrai-je l'attendre? Je souffrais, j'étais seule et mon cœur s'est calmé en écoutant sa voix mélodieuse
Beautiful. Okay, Amy, I want to ask you a couple questions. Um, your character's name is?
Salome.
Okay. But she's very different than the Strauss Salome.
Yeah.
She's like good, and it's very weird. But she's still in her late teens, let's say. And she still has that she wants to be near him. She wants to hear him talk. It turns her on and fills her soul. Now we can't say all the stuff that the other Salome wants, but this one must still have the same energy. So this aria repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself. When you consider that it's Massenet, it means you don't have to be stuck to 1, 2, 3, 4. It means you can go for it. So when you say, celui dont la parole efface toute peine, le prophète est ici. That's what I have to hear from you. Otherwise, it starts like, it's like Manon when you take the sex out of it. It's just not interesting. I'm sorry, I know you're in a church. Oh, your kitchen, I mean. Okay, can we do that first line? I want you to sing it like, I want that cake you left in the corner, bring it here. Okay? It's all about cake and food. Sorry, Sienna.
Celui dont la parole efface toute peine.
Okay, stop. Stop. You're too relaxed. You come running out. Running. Don't make me have more energy than you. I'm way older than you. I need my rest. I'm sorry I missed your name, sir. I don't remember your name.
Bryon.
Bryon. Bryon. Okay, Bryon. Ba da ba da 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 dum ba dum dun dun dun. Celui dont la parole efface toute peine. Go with it. Make it flow like the ocean. Big breath. And don't tuck your chin. Because Salome, if she's going to pray, if she's going to be coming out like this, she's not going to be coming out like this, because otherwise she'll fall on the steps as she comes out to find John the Baptist. So you need to keep things up this direction, so you're not singing to the pit, but singing to the audience. Let the conductors eat it. Here we go. One more time. Go for it, Amy. Come on. Thanks, Bryon. Oh, yeah.
Celui dont la parole efface toute peine. Le prophète est ici. Ah, yes.
C'est vers lui.
Lui que je vais.
No. So here you go. Okay, great. Thanks, Bryon. Thank you. Very good. You can go farther. When you don't tuck your chin, your voice is way more flexible. So if forget about it, you don't need that. You've got a good figure, you've got plenty of support, just go with that. Le prophète est ici, and then say what you want. C'est vers lui que je vais. Because we need to ease you into from this kind of flowing Massenet style into this cantabile, which is ba-da-dee, ba-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, na-dee-dee-dee. So you see, it's just like elastic. You have to feel like you're playing with it all the time. Okay? Let's start from Il prophète est ici. Le prophète.
Le prophète est ici.
I'm sorry. Amy, make it an announcement. Le prophète est ici. Make it an announcement. Go.
Le prophète est ici.
Now, say what you want now.
What?
Say what you want. Say what you want, what she wants.
C'est vers lui que je vais.
Okay. Okay, Amy? 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 Thank you. I'm sorry, Brian. I'm a big pain in the butt. I just interrupt constantly. So, good, better. The announcement was great. Always remember that the breath before any phrase is part of the music of that phrase. So, le prophète est ici. It's okay to, you don't have to hide your breath. It's part of what we do. Um, Il est doux, il est bon, ça pas. You get my drift? Il est doux, il est bon, ça pardon. Okay? Go for it.
I'll give you the later.
Il est doux, il est beau, sa parole est sereine. Il parle tout c'était, plus léger c'est la peine. L'air attentif passe son
Okay,
bruit.
very good. Very, very good. Better. Even more. You
Okay.
can afford to be more elastic. I know you think you're doing a lot and you're changing the feelings inside. So the change on the outside is not as big as you think. But that's okay. It's part of the process. When you get I would like to see you go when you say plus léger sur la plaine. I'd like you to just take your hand. L'air attentif passe son bruit. That's all you have to do. Start up here and just keep your hand and you don't even have to touch it, just and then let your hand go down. She may not be the one that's going to ask for the head, but she's still Salome, and her attraction at her age is much different. It's all confused. Sometimes he speaks. I love how he speaks. Oh, it makes me feel so, I don't even know why I feel so good. See what I mean? It's so much more interesting than sticking to the 4/4. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to open up your body. The instant you do something like that or even something like this, it's the character. It's not you. It can be you if you want it to be you, but allow the character to do that, huh? So, plus léger.
Can I ask you a question? So,
Yes.
like, when I let myself do that, I feel like it screws up my voice. So I don't know how to find that balance of like, you know, letting it all go but still maintaining technique. Do I
Uh,
have
well, that's why we practice and have rehearsals, basically, because if you really cry, you really can't sing.
right?
So basically, doing this should not make you not able to not sing.
Right.
This, in terms of anything, Amy, any of that, it's your breath.
Okay.
And if you want to be an opera singer, you have to be able to do that. That doesn't mean, that's what I mean. You don't have to go out and be that, but you do have to portray that. If you don't portray that, no one will hire you. They want to see your character. And in this character, I don't know, it was offered to me. I was supposed to do it in Vienna, and then I got sick. And Nancy Gustafson sang it, and she was incredible. And I'm telling you, you have a beautiful voice for this, but you can't be afraid to give.
Okay.
Is this a new aria for you?
No, but I started studying with a new teacher a couple of years ago, and I'm way in my head about my technique as opposed to just singing. You know, makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, but I mean, I take my technique when I went to my teacher. I was with my teacher for 45 years, and he came all over the world with me. I was very, very blessed and desperate when he died. But um, pretty much I'd go and I'd take the thoughts of the technique and then I would put myself into it. It doesn't change your technique. You just have to learn when to breathe.
Okay.
I don't want you to feel like Salome.
Okay.
She's dead now. It's been many years. I want you to feel like the woman that's portraying Salome. So when I do like this, doesn't mean you have to go like this, but it does mean I don't feel you're doing anything. I think you do this and then you go like this. Then you do this and go like this. And I think the more you see, I understand too now with what you just said, why you're locking your chin down. Because that just feels more secure to you, but it's not more secure. It's just clamps the sound.
Okay.
And granted, this is just my opinion, but this aria musically, if you sing it just like that, the way you did it before, it's beautiful. But it sounds like Panis Angelicus, you know? It's three verses the same. It's not Schubert, you know? It needs the different, and you know, it doesn't matter what you do. It can be anything. I don't know that you're going, that's the stupidest sensation I ever heard. Why did she tell me to do that? I'm not going to do that. I think instead I'm going to do this with my hair. We can't tell. Basically, I want you to just fake it.
Okay.
Okay?
So. Okay.
Let's go back.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll give it the same lead in.
Il est doux, il est beau, sa parole est sereine. Il parle douceté, s'il le plaît, j'ai souffert, j'ai laissé les manques s'égaler. En écoutant sa voix mélodieuse et tendre, mon cœur s'est calmé. Bien-aimé, puis-je vivre sans toi? Bien-aimé, puis-je vivre sans toi?
Brian. Okay. I just want to say.
Hi, Carol. This is Tina popping in to say
Thank
that
you.
we are at about
Thank
2 minutes.
Thank you. So, Amy, say something, Amy, so that it'll go off of Tina. I need to see you.
Hi, I'm here.
Great. Thank you, love. All right. So, that was so much better. Did it feel hard?
No. It's not hard. I think it's no. It's just
You know, you know what it does. First of all, part of your singing just gets a little bit more elastic. The lines fill out a little bit more. You look more like Salome, and you look like you know what you're singing about.
cool.
Otherwise, it looked like you were saying "Il est doux." I'm not quite sure what that is, but "Il est bon." Oh, wait a minute, I don't know that either. And so for me, even this much, if you practice, you know, I used to practice in front of a mirror acting while I was singing. You just have to do it like any other skill.
Okay.
Acting has to be practiced while singing if you are an opera singer. And then you can act, of course, you can act in the rest, you know. But that looks kind of silly to sit there and then all of a sudden start acting. Anyway, great job. Very beautiful. Keep going. It's great for your voice. And thank you, Bryon, very, very much.
Cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, darling.
And now we have next Sahar singing A Love But a Day, which is a song by Amy Beach. and she has a pre recorded track.
Oh, cool. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, Sahar. Um, the character of this song, is this the first time she's thought, are you going to change too? Is it?
No,
No? Okay.
I don't. I don't think so. I think because Robert Browning wrote this poem for his wife, and she was sort of really just tormented about love and not sure if she should trust him or not. So she went back and forth a lot. So that's why I say not the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have to think of something that gives it a relief from everything that is so dark and inward. I
Oh,
love you sound gorgeous. I love what you're doing with it. A couple suggestions vocally. I
okay.
tend to this octave instead of I love, sing I love. So a deep ah instead of ah. It will still sound I love. It'll still sound like love. It'll just sound. It'll just sparkle a little bit more. I think is what I was gonna say.
Got it.
Allah, Bahata De. I know that's tricky from the A to the F, but don't let the L drag you up. Because right now you go from a love, and so it makes that love, and that too should, if you sing ah, will also work very well. I think you'll find.
Okay.
And just keep the L up there. Say ah love, just so that you just don't, don't get your tongue involved in it.
Okay.
I liked all of this. Very good, very good. It's kind of hard to find a light moment here, It's like you're going,
Yeah.
stop, the birds are dead, the skies, we're having storms. Sounds like yesterday's weather here. When you get to summer has stopped, summer has stopped, summer has stopped. I think they have to be different. So
Okay.
I would suggest the invention of summer. Maybe she hasn't thought about summer, so she goes, summer has stopped. Summer has stopped. Because
Okay.
it would something to just change it up. So again, so it just doesn't kind of go. Now, when you get to ah love, this bigger one, I feel like ah love, the ah will help, but I feel like you need I don't know, a bigger breath. You're not running out of breath, but it just feels as if your vibrato wants to chill out, and you want to keep everything spinning right there because of the
Okay.
So you want to make sure you've got enough air and enough ah love so that it keeps going. I don't know if that's support or what, because we're all different. And the world has changed. Very beautiful. I think I need something a little bit more from you in terms of the transition. And the world has changed. The world has changed. I need a very clear transition to what about you? Because I see you there with it, but I just want you to be clear so that we can be clear that this is, that you're going to ask a direct question of him.
Okay.
And by the way, these are only just my opinion. So, a lot of people, there are millions of coaches in the world tell you a million different things. So, and I love this song. I think it's beautiful. I just like it a little bit. Look in my eye. Yeah, that one too. The one that's dolcissimo. This is on page 430, this last measure. Look into my eyes. When you go up to the F, it just a little extra bit of energy to carry through the phrase so that it'll stay sparkling on the top there.
Okay.
And I just love should I feel surprise. And I would just be more pointed with that, I think. Should I fear surprise? Is that what's going to happen? You're going to surprise me? Is that what's going to happen? Be careful of year. The English ear, the Yeah, it just needs a very light tongue I love, very good. Look into my eyes. Look, yeah. And the rest is beautiful. Those are just my thoughts about it. I think
Thank
it'll
you.
be fun to play around with it. Shall we do
Yeah.
it? What time you want to? Great.
Yeah. I would love to, of course.
Good.
That's why we're here.
Oh, I know. Okay, Sahar,
Yep.
I love it if you weren't already, if it's from 1 to 20, you're at 20 already of emotion.
Okay.
Oh, I like it, but it makes it hard, to follow a story within it when you're already that upset. But the love works, but just make sure you keep spinning through that because right now it was a little bit and if you give it a your voice is rich. I love the color of your voice. When you get up there, just let it be love. Like
Okay.
more AW. I'm sorry. In my day, we didn't have the IPA. We were too poor or something. I don't know what. But so I only know from my makeup, I say e, etc. One more time from the start. Very good.
Sure.
So play around with it. See what you can
Okay.
make up something.
Okay.
Now more. Okay, hang on. I want you to take a really big, wide breath.
Okay.
I feel like you're kind of going on half a tank.
All right.
I'm not saying you're going to need it, but I'm only saying that it just, I get the feeling that you just are keeping things here, and I'd like you to just open and get some breath going. Very good already, the first one. The ah for the law worked very well. And it actually added a dimension of confusion is what kind of like, as opposed to, well, no,
Okay.
I mean in a good way. I guess
Yes,
confusion.
she's confused. Yes, she is. Yeah.
I would think she's sounded confused.
Yeah. Again, from the beginning.
Yes, please. Yes,
Okay.
please. And really go for the one on the Allah.
Okay.
Demand, and that's Allah, and the world has changed. Do you hear
Okay.
me? Yeah, I want to stop just a second. I'm sorry to stop you.
No, no
It was
problem.
marvelous, marvelous performance. Marvelous. What I want you to be careful of is the
World.
world. I know it's hard, but I'm not saying you shouldn't do it once because I could see the reason dramatically and artistically to say the world has, when it just gets to be too much.
Mhm.
I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to debate, especially that she's American, but at that time they didn't, the truth is they didn't say that so much. It was more British. I mean, you're right.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing, even if it was world, then the world has, even if you want to go I would just do it at the world has changed. So the vowel would just be longer, and I'm all about vowels. Vowel, long vowel. Anywhere you want to start. It's incredible.
Should I just go from where we just
More.
stopped?
Yeah, if you
Okay.
can figure that out on those machines, yeah, go right ahead.
I-
I'm not good at that for sure. beautiful. Very beautiful. I want to ask you this look in my eyes, the A natural, that was absolutely a stunning, gorgeous sound of awe. I would
Okay.
love you to put wilt thou change to into the space of that awe.
Okay. Got it.
Because it's not that it's, wrong what you did. It's certainly a way to go. But if you've got us there and it's just going to kind of be quiet and go away, if you put it in there, there will be no discernible change in the warm color that you've got going there, and it'll still be a nice bright ah.
So are you talking about the end or
Yes.
the end, the last line? Okay.
I'm talking about look in my eyes, and that's A natural, then the end. Wilt thou change to? So look in my eyes, wilt thou change to? You can, relax it however you want to do. You can go slower, you can go lighter, as long as it stays in the same color frame.
Okay.
We are at 2 minutes.
Thank you, darling.
Okay.
Want to
Thank
try
you.
again? Are you done?
Yeah. From where?
Any place on the last page, if you can find.
Okay, I can. You know what? I'll go for.
And when you, after in the second system, when you go up, ah, love, to the F, make sure you've got a good breath under that, huh? I feel like you breathed just an instant too late.
Okay. Okay. Let me see. Hopefully I got this right too.
Huh? You're pretty good at it. You're hired. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you, Carol. Thank
I
you so
love
much.
that song. Oh my gosh.
I do too. It's kind of like an aria, so I thought
Yeah, it is like an aria,
I
very
can
much
sneak
so.
it in, I hope.
Of
So,
course. Of
thank
course.
you.
Of course. My pleasure. Really my pleasure.
Thank you,
Same.
Sahar. Who was your accompanist on the recording?
That was Lara Bolton.
Shout out to Lara Bolton and Amy. I didn't get to say thank you, but thank you and Brian for performing. And then next up, we have Anna Hashizume. And we should preface this by saying that, Carol, you guys used to work together when she was a student at Indiana. So I think your dynamic will be slightly different because you actually know Anna from working
Yeah,
very
I'm gonna
closely with
rip
her.
her a new one. That's what.
Yes, and so she'll be singing Batti Batti. And then, Anna, if you wouldn't mind just telling us who made your recording so we can give them a shout out and hopefully more work, we'd appreciate that.
Yes, definitely. Eric McEnaney made my recording today very quickly. So thank you, Eric, if you're watching this. I really appreciate it.
Totally cool, yeah.
So yes, I will, and I will be starting with a little bit of the recit beforehand. So here we go. Sorry, got to do the whole setup thing. Ma se colpa io non ho, ma se da lui ingannato rimasi, e poiché temi, tranquillo di mia vita,
Yay. Very good. Very good. Beautiful. And when was the last time you worked on this aria?
Fairly, it's very new. It's very new.
Okay. It's very good. You've worked really hard to get a good ah. Now you can afford to go ah.
Okay.
Because some of them are really great, and every now and then you go ah. So, and that's only on the runs that you change
Okay.
the vowel. And basically, it only changes because you close your mouth. You think you
Ah,
close your mouth
okay.
because you think it's going to help, but it really doesn't help that much. Ah.
Uh-huh.
Just sing me a couple of those runs. Do you need a piano? I got a piano on this stupid
I have a little piano.
pianolette.
One sec. Yeah, I have one right behind everyone.
Okay, I'd just like to give you to give yourself. What is going on here with this phone? It's having a nervous breakdown. My phone. Oh well. Bye. So it's di vogliam passare anywhere any one of those.
Great, we can do that. Yep. Sorry,
Very
that
good.
got
The reason it's a little tricky is you're trying to go up like this.
okay.
You're trying to go sa, and the B flat kind of goes ha. So you want to go sa. What I was thinking is being very tall.
Okay. One more time.
Yep.
Uh,
Okay, do ya 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 ya. It'll come out. Don't worry.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I want you to do one more time because what's happening is that you're just right there on ya is you're actually going instead of you
Okay.
need to settle this down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go like this, but if you do this,
Yeah.
so you might want to go like this. Yeah, you might want to think of it as going forward rather than up.
Okay.
One more time.
Okay.
Yes, already better. Already better. Now
Okay.
try to look over the computer. Don't do one more time. Look over the computer. Don't look up.
Okay.
Don't look at me. Look over the computer.
Got it.
Okay, good. So that's how you practice that. That will get that very, very open.
Yeah.
A lot of this is really, really excellent. And the only thing that's a little bit funky is every now and then you take the roundness out of the ahs.
Okay.
And that's why this role can be sung by sopranos and high mezzos, because while it looks low, it all sits in the dang passaggio. So yes, but what you want to do is you want to get enough of a roundness that's not dark, but just roundness. So you're going batti batti o bel mese staro. You're not going staro qui, but staro qui. Can we start there at the beginning?
Yes, we can. Let me just find this time mark, whatever it's called. So that we don't get all the rest of it.
Okay, good. Very, very good. I want you to start it one more time, and I want you to think of it as bati bati.
Okay.
Bati bati. Don't be afraid to do that. And then you just want to keep. And by the way, a brilliant thing to do to have someone go tick, tick, da da. That's brilliant. It's what everybody should do because as opposed to what do I do? Just tick tick, and there. You are great. But so hang on, Anna.
Yes.
Bati, bel, not bel, bel, mazzetto. You need to have a little stupid jaw right there. Or you can go, yeah, yeah, yeah. Why don't you try yeah, yeah, yeah? Like, yeah, 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 but not with your chin. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we have effectively cured the back of your tongue. So the thing is now you just have to tell it regardless. I'm tilting to your tongue. Regardless of what you think, I want you to stay either down or chilled out because you want that space of that yeah, yeah, yeah. And you don't want to have to go yeah, yeah, yeah to get it either. And you don't have to actually brighten up anything in here because that's plenty bright. It's bright yet round. It's not dark. So, and that's what we want out of that. Now I want you to do it with the words, the same idea.
Okay.
You can do it, come on.
That's the hard part.
I know, but you have blue hair. People with blue hair can do anything. I want blue hair.
Do it, Carol.
No, I'm afraid. Okay, great. And one more thing. As fast as this seems, it isn't.
Yeah.
You have plenty of time to go Batti, battio bel masetto, la tua pove. You have plenty of time to take the amount of air you need for the next part in all of those. So don't shoot yourself in the foot by thinking if I get battio bel masetto, la.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
all it's going to do is it just makes you a tiny bit anxious and it kind of grabs. Batti, batti. Come on, let's keep going. That was very good. We can either start again or just
I'll
keep
just
going.
back
Whatever
up
you
a
want
little
to do.
bit. I'll back up a little bit. Figure out where I am.
Nope, nope, nope.
Did I go high?
Bate, bate. Just do it right there, Anna. Bate, bate. Yeah, just sing yeah, 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 yeah. Except for not yeah, but yeah. Okay, and you can even take more roundness. I know you're afraid to do that. You're not going to lose the top. It'll just make it round. It'll just make it round. That's all.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you crazy? Why wouldn't you want to sing with that? For Christ's sake. All right. Put it back on and let's keep singing. That's what you want, my dear. It gives it not only it increases and your voice carries, okay? We know that. But this keeps it beautiful and round with the carry even bigger.
Okay. Okay. Let's do it. Oh, I think I backed up really far, but that's okay.
Oh. Very good. And if you were sitting in my studio, I would make you redo that stato qui, le,
Okay.
instead of le, nice and tall.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Or what?
Okay, sing. Watch this. Le, le. Hardly L. Le, le, le. Light. You're in the perfect position. Take a breath and sing lay. Okay. Good. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
How about L-E-H. Sing L-E-H. Sing L-A-W. Law. Okay, sing ah, and then let your tongue move a little to the A. There's the sound. That's the sound you want.
Yeah.
Because that has freedom, darkness, thrust, everything. And then once you get used to that, and it's just a question of how do I get to sing an A vowel on an F?
Yeah.
A, E, A, okay, you can go ba, you can go la, ba, da. Or you can actually sing lay, but you have to have a way to find it.
Yeah.
Once you've found it 2 or 3 dozen times, you won't have to look for it anymore because eventually you will know it's okay. And you'll know it's okay to go to the eh. Again, I'm sure you remember, I've said this to anyone who ever took a lesson with me in my whole life, that eh makes us feel like it's a dangerous, open, naked vowel. Yeah, it is. but there are ways to control that. And of course, no, we can't control it like I'm going to hold you here and hold you there, but control what we do with it. And if we don't get it the first time, we aim for the second time. It's how I could go, non me, dear, and not have it go, non me, dear, which is really what it felt like most of the time. When you get to, dang, come on, la, la, ka, that should be almost on the edge of a vocalese. And just make almost straight. And you can do it with any consonant you want. Can you find that?
Yeah.
It's someplace around La Shadow. I know.
That part's so hard. Let me see. Where is it? Okay. Yes, I can find it. It'll be a little before.
Wherever you want.
We are also at 2 minutes.
Thank you. Stop. Okay, I want you to do it. I just want you to do it, the movement in a wide space. You can do it on ah. Just do it on ah so you can feel how it moves. No, it can't be ah. It has to be ah. Ah, A-W, A-W. Okay? Yes. No, you're doing it right. Now we can get it more right. Okay. And the only reason it's a little hard is because you're pulling away a little bit and you're actually making it brighter than what we've been working with. So that's the only thing that's a little funky right there. And if it's brand new, you just have to get used to moving around in the space. Remember, even though it's Mozart, doesn't mean it's a metronome. So when you actually are with an orchestra or with a pianist, you can go ba-da, 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 da, 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 ba-da, da, da, da. But it's hard with the recording because you can't change it. And when they're alive there, the pianists, they can change it. Beautiful, Anna. Great. Wonderful to hear you, little goofball.
No, thank you.
You're so beautiful. I'm so happy to see you again.
You too.
I know.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Josh Diaz, who is a tenor, and he will be performing Vesti la giubba from Pagliacci.
Great. Have you done this role, Josh? Josh, have you done this role?
I have not. Not yet.
Okay, just curious. It doesn't matter. It's fine if you haven't. No judgment. Just curious.
Sorry, I'm going to start this back a little bit.
Cool. Get comfortable.
cantar, mentre preso dal delirio non so più quel che dico e quel che faccio, eppure dopo sforzati, va, sei do forza. Tu sei Pagliaccio. Vesti la giubba e la faccia in farina. La gente paga e rider vuole va. E se Arlecchin ti ingola colombina, ridi Pagliaccio e ognuno applaudirà. Tramuta il lazio e lo spasmoid pianto in una smorfia il singhiozzo e il dolore. Ridi Pagliaccio sul tuo amore infranto, ridi del duol che t'avvelena il cor.
Great. Really good. Okay, I'm getting an echo.
Yeah, sorry. Let me.
Am I still getting an echo? Yes, I am. Oh, whoa.
Two Carols, that's a dream.
An echo of myself?
Yes.
Of course. Only if
better?
you're involved. Josh doesn't like us anymore. I just turned us off.
Josh,
Okay.
you should be able to listen through your headphones, but still have audio through your microphone if you switch it in your audio settings.
Right. How's that?
Is
Is
that
that
better?
better?
Oh, now we get a real. When you speak, it's good for me. I can't hear me, but for you, I hear you go.
Yep.
Like,
I removed the second Josh from Josh Talk again.
now we just have one Josh. Okay.
Yes.
Now I hear it.
Still the echo?
Yep. I hate my voice. Ugh.
Don't we all?
But I love my singing voice.
I was going to say, how much money has your voice made you, Carol, and yet you hate it?
I only hate my speaking voice. I love my singing voice. I told you, my voice was my favorite voice in my entire life. I love my voice more than anybody. And that's what you have to have. That's, I'm telling you. You have to love your voice more.
How about that?
Yeah! Woo! Cooking with gas. Okay, Josh, pick a big song. You got to do big things with it. All
Yeah.
right? So you know what happens right before. Who's your favorite dramatic tenor?
Franco Corelli.
Oh, well, yeah, me too. I love him. I mean, he's incredible. But I mean, like of the big dramatics, like Del Monaco, of course.
Okay, Del Monaco, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was just on edge of the brutal with this role, and it's just incredible. Well, I got to tell you just a very quick funny story. I got a call. I was singing my first paid performance of Donna Anna in Fort Worth, and I got a call from these people in Europe, and they wanted me to come and sing Pagliacci. And I was like, okay, yeah, fine, whenever. And they said, no, on Tuesday. and it was Saturday, and I didn't know the role. So, and I'm always very quick, so I learned it real fast. And I get over there, and the tenor is John Vickers.
Oh, Jesus.
John, and I'm like, mother. And John Vickers, Juan Pons, Gino Quilico, you name it. It was all the whole night.
Jesus.
So, what I want from you is the first thing you say. I want you to feel, not feel, you don't have to feel yourself, but your character has to be almost in hatred of what he does. I hate it. I have to go out and do this performance. And he just can't stand it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because he's that mad at her.
Right.
Because you know, you come right before this, you come running out and he says, tell me who your boyfriend is. And she says, I won't do it. And he says, okay, then he takes the whatever knife.
Right.
And he goes, I'll kill you. And he runs off and you stay, you go and you sing recitar, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Okay, there we go. When you hear ba-da-da-dum, that should be like pum 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 pum
Right.
recitar, full rich sound. Just go for it. You don't have to scream, but make it rich. Enjoy it.
Sure. I think it's playing. Recitar mentre preso dal delirio.
Stop it. I want you to do it without the piano, and I want you to do it slow, and I want you to go for tone. Recitar mentre pre. I don't want you to go for the color in those places. So that what's happening right now is you're going recitar, and the is a little bit shallow, and then you go mentre. Of course, what are you going to do? Those are closed, and then you have to go preso, and this is just right under the passaggio. So you're still voice, but you want to keep the thrust going there. So you want to start with recitar. That is really important for your soundness in your sound. Go ahead.
Okay. Recitar mentre preso dal dali.
Very good. Can you give me a little this action? Preso instead of preso.
Sure. Mentre preso dal delirio.
Great.
Non so.
No, that's good. Listen, when you come to vowels like so, don't worry about them being so. Oh, you need that sound a little more open. Recitar instead of recitar. Recitar, as if you're going to bite it. That's what Monaco used to say all the time, you know. You bite it. Give it a go. One more time.
Recitar mentre preso dal delirio. Non so più quel che dico e quel che faccio, eppure dopo sforzati, sei da forza.
Okay, so you know how open and gorgeous that, I mean, not open in the technical sense, but that warm, how steady and round and clarion that is. I want you to do the same thing when you say sforzati.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, basically, I know it says stringendo a poco, but I'm going to tell you right now, Placido did not go faster. And neither did John. And I haven't heard Corellis in a while, but I mean, Delmonic would do it every once, you know. He's like a machine. He can sing it. Let's go back again. You know, I just also want to say that when you sang Sull'amore d'infranto, that was absolutely brilliant technically. That was
Thank you.
technical singing. I know how hard that is. I saw it on John's face every night, and I thought he's going to kill me. He really is going to kill me. You know, he was a. Here we go. Recita. Let's start the beginning now. We can use the. Oh, we can do it without. Good. That's fine with me.
Okay, sure. Recitar mentre preso dal delirio.
Stop, Josh. Okay. Recitar has an exclamation point. What does that mean?
To act.
It means what?
Perform.
So, do you like acting? Does he like acting, not you, Josh?
I think normally he would, but in this moment, no.
Right. So, I don't want you to think of it technically. You've got it down technically. You
Okay.
just make the vowels longer.
Sure. Recitar mentre preso dal delirio non so più quel che dico e quel che faccio eppure dopo sforzati bah sei tu forte tu sei Pagliaccio.
Okay, so that should almost make us cry for you. Okay? I'm going to encourage you again to sing Sforzati. No conductor in the world, if you'll notice, even in the score that you've given us, it says col canto. And that means
Right.
do what you want. You know, you want to hold the dang thing longer, hold it longer. And I want you to hold it longer because this is the tune of the show. This is what everybody came to hear. Actually, the end is what they came to hear. So, recitar, let's do it with the music. It'll be a little bit different, but I want to encourage you at all times. When it's in your chest voice, don't be afraid of it. Nothing bad's going to happen. You need to just have a big open chest sound. I get the feeling you're kind of just being a little careful occasionally until you get to the top. Then you get to the top and you go, oh, this is so easy. Have you sung the last aria? No Pagliacci.
Yes. Yeah.
Watson, I'd love to hear you sing that. That B. You know, do you sing?
It's a lot of fun.
Do you sing the
Say
B?
again?
Do you sing the B?
Yes.
Well, I got to tell you, at age 69, I think he was, Vickers sang it too. And he sang it right in, he was holding me in his arms. He's standing over and he's got his hands around my head. And after he got it, he went, puh! And I fell. He was holding me. I'm going, bitch, what are you doing? Going, okay, so kill me then. But it made me so mad. And it looked so real that some of the chorus at the Paris Opera, some of the chorus guys came over, and I had to go, no, he's just acting.
Life imitating art, imitating life, imitating art.
I know, please don't kill me. Breath, breathe.
Recitar mentre preso dal delirio non so più quel che dico e quel che faccio eppure dopo sforzati bah sei tu forte tu sei Pagliaccio.
Okay, I want to point out too, can you stop it real fast? Now, it says, declamando con dolore. What does that mean?
To declaim it with pain.
Declaiming with pain. So he's in a lot of pain. So you don't have to worry about being nicey-nicey.
Right.
It doesn't have to go, "Vesti." It's not Una Rosa or any of those other arias. This is really slow, not on your recording particularly, but well, I mean, we're all having to do it. Eventually we'll be away. Don't let it change your musicality, any of you, because when we're dealing with this thing, it can really mess us up musicalmente. All right, Vesti la giubba.
Okay.
Really? You're saying I have to dress like a clown and everybody pays and they applaud.
Mm-hmm. Vesti la giubba.
Nope. Without that, sing it as if you're declaring it, declamando.
Okay.
See, this to me is declamando. Vesti la giubba. That's declamando con dolore. To me, you're going, it's like, I'm so sad. Where's the dog? He didn't get hit by a car, did he? He's in the closet, actually.
Vesti la giubba e la faccia.
Good, Josh. I don't really want you to be angry,
Okay.
but I want you to have the intensity of line. In a way, it will speed up your vibrato a little bit. There's nothing wrong with your vibrato, but we want that kind of feeling. You know how Corelli's vibrato is very fast, and Delmonico's, when he does stuff like this, he goes, and that's what I don't want you settling down because it's slower. Adagio doesn't mean settle down. Adagio means it's slow, and you have to declare it, and that's where this aria gets heavy. That's how it is. But if you're gonna sing it, kid, if you're gonna sing it, you gotta do it the way it says.
Right.
Because there's really only one kind of Pagliacci, I mean, it's always the tenor with the big voice.
Yeah.
I don't know, well, I guess Luciano did it, but I didn't think that was his greatest thing, because his voice wasn't so much bash, bash, bash. He was better in toss. Vesti la giubba, here we go.
Okay.
Can you snarl into it? Va, va.
Sure.
I don't want you to let yourself pout down. I don't want you to sing like that, but va, keep it here in your chest, huh?
Sure. Vesti la giubba e la faccia infarina, la gente paga e rider vuole e se Arlecchino t'invola colombina, ridi Pagliacci e l'union applaudirà.
Very good. Keep going. Keep going. Very
sorry.
good. Keep going with that intensity. It's exactly right. I know I interrupted you right before the line.
No worries.
Idiot. Oh well. Clear.
Tramuta i lazzi, lo spasmo ed il pianto, in una smorfia il singhiozzo e il dolor.
I'd like you to find. It's the first time in my life I've ever said this. I want you to find a place in it where you do the tenor cry. Oh, I don't care where you put it, but find some place towards the end. I don't think il could work. I think you should stay intense and let the music die away. I don't think you should die away into. I mean, basically, you know, I'm laughing, but sadness and everything is. I mean, his life is destroyed, and he can hardly wait to kill her to make her
Okay,
pay
sure.
for what he did. Listen, really wonderful.
Thank you.
One of the things you really do have to work on is your face, huh? You need to be able just practice in the mirror making, mad faces. And it's not that you have to copy them. It's not that you have to do them with the actual anger, because as soon as when you start practicing them, you'll notice them, and then they'll start to make you feel mad, and then eventually when you practice something like this, it's not going to be mad. It's just going to be putting that on top of your voice, on top of your technique, not in through it. You don't want it in. You want it on the outside, like your mask. That's what protects us. All of us. That's why we can do all kinds. That's why I act this way, because I feel protected. Because right now I'm acting as Carol Vaness. But if I was acting as just Carol, I'd still be acting as the same way.
2 minutes.
Okay. So, there's nothing to say about your high voice. It's spectacular. Have you always had those high notes?
It kind of, yeah. It's been a journey of sort of building the rest of it to meet that.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. So, of course, I don't want you to push on it, but don't be afraid to be generous.
Yeah.
Test yourself. You don't want to start screaming and then rupture a cord or something. Although those things do happen, and lots of people come back from them. I know for sure, me for one. So don't get mad when you sing really mad, because that doesn't work, I discovered. But one of the things, that will help you, like I said, and all of you, is practicing the journey on your face and your hands. Watching a good hand gesture can almost act for you if you get people looking at it. It can almost do the whole job. But you have to practice them so they're not just willy-nilly. So you're not just doing this, then that, And the more you practice it, your mirror is your best teacher. Absolutely your best teacher. It tells us everything, which is why none of us want to work in it. But I'm here to tell you, if you can make yourself even do it 15 minutes a day, it will make a giant difference. And that's that. Great job. Great job, all of you. Wonderful singing. Very good. So what can I answer for y'all?
So Carol has very generously offered to do a Q&A, and I have a few questions if we don't have any to get it started, but we're going to direct them to the chat if that's okay with you. But I would like to start off with a question, Carol. Why do you think you had a successful career over someone else?
I don't know. I mean, what I discover now is that in hindsight is 2020. I wasn't afraid to take chances. I wasn't afraid to make an impression in something, whether it was right or wrong. And I think in a lot of ways in America, and it's been this way for years now, people are afraid, well, I don't know, am I ready to do that? I don't know. I mean, my first opera was Tosca, so, I'm not really scared. But I'd already been singing giant repertoire just, and not because I knew anything about it, because basically my life was very, very simple. My dad was a security guard. My mom was a housekeeper in a rest home. And basically, nobody in my family liked opera, but I got a crush on this teacher in undergrad, and he was real cute and blah, blah, blah. And he got me interested in singing. And the first thing he gave me was the Kindertotenlieder. He didn't know how to tell me how to sing. He just I was a mezzo back there. For you mezzos, I know Anna knows that, but Sahar does not know that. And basically the only mezzo role I ever sang was Charlotte. So all I'm going to say is that I wasn't afraid to prepare something really fast. I really did learn Pagliacci in a day and a half and had it mostly memorized. That was my skill. And, I could look at it and I know what side of the page the notes were on. That's just something that I could do. But, and I was really shitty in geography. I got an F, but now I know, and when I was in grade school, but now I know where all these places in the world are, so that's kind of crazy. But, I think you have to be prepared and you can't be scared. It's just a process and a training. Now, we say that. Can a gymnast who has never been can a person come in and say, I want to be a gymnast? Okay. Can you train yourself? Or can you have someone train me at age 30 to be a gymnast? Maybe not a competitive gymnast, but you can still learn how to do it. So all I'm going to say is that if you are willing, you have to want it more than anything. Like, I had to sing. I had no choice. I didn't say, oh, I'm going to get married and then I'm going to have children and then I'll sing at La Scala. Right. Basically things really, even though it kind of looked like that, didn't really fall in my lap. I had a year in New York where I didn't make a penny. Thank God I could sell my car. I sang all kinds of, I got a call. The only money I made that year, yeah, that's right, 3 Clemenza di Tito's at $365 a performance at the New York City Opera. Only 3. They, they struck the rest of the season. They were doing this weird opera, Il Marito Disperato, in English in Charleston, in Spoleto, USA. And the girl who was singing, the soprano, was pregnant and started to have issues and didn't want to continue. And as it just so happened, one of the guys who was a coach in San Francisco and knew I could kind of learn fast said, they said, well, who are we going to get? Who can learn this fast? Nobody knows this. Maybe we get somebody she can sing from the pit. And he said, well, I know a singer who can learn it really fast. Oh, Carol Vaness. And, the thing is that I was in New York with no work. I had already had 2 reviews in the New York Times. One from Clemenza di Tito, one from the Met auditions, which I lost. So, so I just think it's those kind of things that people are afraid to try. You can really do almost anything if you really want to, if you have to, if it gets you where you want. I don't believe in the kind of ambition that smashes other people away, but I believe in ambition. My ambition to work with you guys is to help you at least for 1 second. If I can just, if there's anything that I can help, because you can't always help everybody, But that's my ambition for this. And my ambition as a teacher is to teach as great as I can. And that's it.
Can you tell me a little bit about your performance anxiety? Because, you speak with such confidence about like being a badass, showing up after learning a piece in a day and a half. I could learn a piece that fast, but would I have the confidence to put it on stage? I don't know. So how did you overcome those anxious feelings?
I didn't.
You just did it with those anxious
I
feelings?
threw up. I had diarrhea. I would sit around. I couldn't eat. My first Traviata, I remember my sisters had come for the opening night and I was there making stuff and I was trying to eat something, but I couldn't eat anything because everything I ate, I had to run and throw up. And I was so scared. I was just so scared. But then bit by bit, once I got onto the stage, it was where I started to think. If I panicked, at home, who cares? Who's going to see me? Who's going to go, wow, you look panicked when you walk in the door? Nobody. So how do they know? Like I said, you guys have no idea how scared I could be. I might be scared now. I just don't happen to be. Because I also taught all day from 11 till 4. So, I'm kind of blah, blah, blah. Basically, when I got to the theater, I had my ritual. If you have a ritual, on the day of your show, it is much easier to kind of signal to your body and your brain that this always happens this way. I always wake up, I always have an egg and a piece of toast and 2 cups of coffee with not cream, milk and sweet and low. Then I take the dog or dogs for a walk. Then I come back and I think I'll take a nap. And so I'd lay down, not really nap, and sometimes I'd be so scared I'd even be shaking. But I would go, okay, chill out, just breathe. Okay, that feels wonderful. And then I wake and go, okay, it's time to eat. I always had my entire career, except in Bordeaux, I had a small steak, a little bit of pasta, and overcooked zucchini and a green salad. The overcooked zucchini had so much water in it that it really helped me feel lubricated. If I was really, really scared, like for Norma, I had a lot more pasta than protein. If I was only my normal scared, like for Così or Don Giovanni or Electra Nido Mineo or blah, 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 then I had a bigger steak because that would feed my mind to keep my mind working quickly. And so that ritual then, look at the watch. Okay, I've got 3 hours. What am I going to do? I'm not going to look at my music because I'm not going to open it until I get to the theater. And so I would just get stuff, I'd sit. Sometimes I watch TV. Sometimes I just look out the door, just nothing. And then I go to the theater, and then things start to go dee. And the only time my diet ever got kind of messed up was in Bordeaux. Because I'd been real sick when I got there and had oysters like an idiot. And then I was like, I'm just afraid to eat anything. And so I found a McDonald's, and then they had what does they call it? I don't know, hamburger mit Käse or something. Not Käse, but Hamburger Royal. That's what I would have 2 of those, some fries, and their version of a horrible Diet Coke. So. And that's but those kind of things that are normal when I was going to do something abnormal, eventually, even if you've just had a little bit of rehearsal, if you think spatially, here's the door, here's the set, there's the conductor, there are the monitors, those things, the more you do it, become, they kind of soothe you a little bit.
I've heard it similar with Michael Phelps. He has the same soundtrack that he listens to before all the meets, and it just gears him into what he has to do next, so that it's just by rote. I take one foot in front of the other. So I find that very helpful to acknowledge, like, anxiety is going to be there, but you're still going to get on stage and sing your ass off.
Well, the main thing is I don't bad speak myself. I don't sit there and go, you jerk, that's horrible. Oh my God, they're going to find out how bad you are. Oh no. No, I'm out there going, that F was not quite right, but here comes another one. Oh yeah, that's it. Oh, I think you've got it. Oh, let's put it over here. That lady, she looks like she's asleep. Let's sing right to her. But that's how I would get, I'm a little bit hyper. And so that kind of thing, as long as I don't get hyper right before the show. If I start talking the way I'm talking now, and it actually wrecked a couple of my Giovannis, not wrecked them, but it made me more nervous than normal because I was so excited and up, and I was just blah, 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 and Sam Raimi standing there, we're all back, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my God, I ran out and I'm going, I don't have any more adrenaline. I just left it in the wings. So that's something you have to be careful. You just have to learn what your triggers are and learn how to handle them.
And now you've been teaching for maybe
10 years.
Yeah. What are some common technical pitfalls you've experienced with singers?
Really telling themselves how bad it is and how they'll never get it. Technically, by the time I only teach grad students now, Anna was my last undergrad. I know, and she was cute too. But basically, it's the idea of placement of the voice. I basically I think that most singers have 50 million versions of how you sing. I have to do this here and I have to place that there. And then it goes in the mask here. And then be careful, don't do your jaw. Well, just tuck it this way. Make sure it's in your chest. Wait a minute, am I tucking in my diaphragm? Forget it. Breath, vowel, sing. Breathe, sing. Breathe, support, sing. You take the breath, the diaphragm is going to come in anyway. It can't help it. It just does it. Even if you're not a singer, it does it. And, basically it's that kind of thing, just overthinking.
So overthinking and negativity.
Yeah, that's that, yes. And, there are people that can sing perfect ah, and then something goes funky and then it's all shot to hell. And you're going, so what happened? You need to chill out. Come on. Yeah, it just depends on your makeup. You gotta, I found therapy was very good too. That helped a lot. Not with I know, huh? Not with singing particularly, but with my mind. And because we are those kind of creatures, like thoroughbred horses, it's like your mind is going. And the reason people want you to do a role somewhere is because you're interesting and you have energy and you have charisma and you have projection. And if you don't have that, you're just the person coming in. Now, where do I go for the solo? And there's nothing wrong with that if that makes you happy.
Yeah, in my experience, I think a big pitfall for even big name singers is the psychology of singing, of, getting in your head. I've seen people not go on for opening night because they just get too in their head and their voice gets too tight and they can't even sing it.
Well, yeah, but you have to find a way to not do that, because
Yeah.
it's not going to work. And you're the only one that can do it. And, again, when I wake up in the morning, I am so happy. I go down, I make my coffee, I look out, I go, I have the most beautiful window. It looks out on all this green and blah, blah, blah. And I sit there and I go, oh, I'm so lucky. And I have a friend who used to teach in Kansas, who is like, I don't know how you can stand to teach all those little bastards. And I said, I love it. It's wonderful. I said, it's so great to see somebody go, oh yeah. It's so fulfilling. It's totally different, but it's very fulfilling. And, you just, in today's world, it's bound to be a little tricky anyway, just right now at this moment in time because of this pandemic. And everybody, of course, nobody got out of it unscathed. I mean, there are people at the Met who literally not only had to move, but main role singers, big tenors, big this, big that were penniless because they were living on each set of performances, and so, anything else?
You mentioned having a vocal injury. Would you talk a little bit about the injury and how you recovered from that?
Sure. So I was 25, I believe. I was in San Francisco my last year, or my first year or my last year. Can't remember. I was there 2 years. One of those years, I was doing Brown Bag, that outreach thing where you sing an aria here and a duet and whatever. And so I was doing, we had with the affiliate artist group, the young artists, we did Così in Geyser Peak Winery, which was a couple hours out of town and 95 degrees heat. And we did Così fan tutte with mics and costumes outside. And I'm not kidding. It was, well, anyway, so it was a little tiring. And I actually had a lot of trouble with my tonsils. So they were like always, I was always fighting the guck going down my throat and coughing and blah, blah. But anyway, I did a fairly good Così back then. And I got back to San Francisco and I get the what do you call them? The next day rehearsal schedule. And I was scheduled to do the duet with the tenor from Traviata and Sempre Libera. Okay, so I called him. I said, I'm really tired. My tonsils are really sore, and we just sang there, They sang all of Così. They said, well, it's just a rehearsal and you can come down and do it and get staged. Okay, so the director was this German gal, Gita Hager, and a big pain in the butt, literally. And so I got there and I started marking, which is to sing down the octave. I'm sure you guys mark when you need to too. And she came over to she said, why are you marking? I looked at her, I said, I sang Così yesterday. I don't have any voice today. She said, that's very unprofessional. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, if you can't sing it, you can't act it. I think you should go. I'm like, well, I mean, I can do it. I just don't think it's wise for me to. Anyway, so she made me really mad. This is why don't get mad and sing. And I started singing really hard. And when I say hard, I mean hard. And I got to ne ritrovi, and it's like somebody socked me in the throat. And I thought, and all of a sudden I couldn't talk at all. So, long story longer, I went over there and they tortured me by saying, well, we could fire you. You've been out sick a lot. And I'm going, oh, it's so nice to be in a young artist program where I'm understood. And so basically, again, I said, well, do what you have to do. I've got to go home. I'm going home. I can't sing. I don't know what to do. I'm going to my voice doctor. So I went to my doctor and he looked and he went, whoa. I'm going, his name was Dr. Wolfenden. I wonder if he's even still alive. Anyway, so he looked in and he kind of like went, ooh, boy, you really did it this time, Carol. And I'm going, thank you. I had hemorrhaged my entire right vocal cord, which is the normal one that gets hemorrhaged because, I don't know why, that's just what they told me. And so I said to him, so what am I going to do? And he said, well, you're going to have to be on voice rest for a month. And I thought, oh, well, they wouldn't let me off for today. And I said, well, I guess, how am I going to pay to have my tonsils out? I won't have health insurance if they fire me. So I went into Mr. Adler, Kurt Adler, and gave him my blah, blah, blah. And he said, okay. He said, we will not fire you, but you must be prepared and memorized for the Julius Caesar, because in 4 months I was supposed to sing Julius Caesar in the Spring Opera Theater, which was like a younger artist kind of thing, although they had Tatiana Trianos and Flicka and all that group of people there, so it had stars too. Not me, I wasn't particularly star, but I could really sing well. But anyway, at this particular point, I was like, okay, well, in those days, voice rest, I assume everybody's at least been on voice rest, maybe not Bryon, but most of us have been on voice rest for at least, 20 minutes, be quiet. But they don't tell you, they tell you, of course, don't whisper and speak only essential. Well, back then, there was no speaking. No listening. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't listen to music. I could walk around. I could look at a book, but that was it. I had to be absolutely silent. So I went. I had my tonsils out because it just was impossible. And after the month, I still had a month and a half before Julius Caesar. I went down to Southern California to my teacher, David Scott. And I said, I was just getting used to talking again. Never mind singing. And I put my voice back together, starting with The first day, I could only do about 10 minutes. The next day, I did the same. Next day, I did 15. Next day, couldn't sing. So basically for a month, my teacher and I rebuilt my voice. When I came down to Southern California, I went to my old voice doctor, who was Hans von Leyden, who was considered, if you ever read about him, they call him the grandfather of otolaryngology, because he's the one who developed the scopes and blah, 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 blah. And he told me, said, well, you don't have the what you call it is gone, so you just need to practice. So I'm singing, and push came to shove, I didn't get a lot of chest voice back, but my voice, which you don't really need for Julius Caesar anyway. But anyway, so I sang the whole thing. I was scared to death. In every aria, I was so afraid that, they gave me a knife at one point, and I was walking around like this, and I started counting exit signs and singing by rote, because I was like, and once I did the first one, then the second one became easier, and blah, blah, blah. Life went on. Many years later, I'm with the New York City Opera on tour in LA, and I'm doing Rigoletto. And I felt a little tired, so I thought I'd go in and see Dr. von Layton. He looks at me and goes, oh, yeah, just, you look fine. He said, I didn't ever tell you. He's this little man, little guy like this, all white, with this old-fashioned thing, with this white hair. He looked like that guy in Back to the Future. You know, the dog. He did. He looks, and he was from Malta, so he spoke with a little bit of an accent. Most wonderful man ever. And he said, I didn't tell you at the time, but you had, what do you call it when you, wait a minute, paralyzed your right vocal cord. And that's why I couldn't go, ah. And by literally working on it bit by bit by bit by bit, we reanimated it. So it can happen. So, and the way I look at it now is that, you have nobody would look at a baseball player with a hurt arm that just by chance threw kind of funky and, oh shit, well, you must be a terrible pitcher, So I don't think it's any kind of indication. The reason it happened to me, because I was sick, not because I didn't sing well. But accidents happen. So you have to know that for me, it was at that moment, I thought, the worst thing that ever happened to me. But then I came to know there are way worse things that could happen. You don't want to know, though.
Well, you're gritty. You can come back from anything.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You have already. We'll find out where you can't come back from. But we have a great question from Josh, who wants to know, who were your favorite colleagues to work with? Singers, conductors, directors, and why? This is your opportunity to name drop.
Riccardo Muti, most beautiful hair in the world. Incredibly sexy man. Wonderful conductor. Really taught me how to sing Puccini. James Levine, by far the best conductor they ever had as a Metropolitan, with maybe the exception of Carlos Kleiber. And then Riccardo later. Jimmy, it was like he had this weird sense that if you needed to go faster, you really wouldn't have had to do very much, but he'd pick up the tempo. He would never just stick to something the way some of them do, like Julius Rudel. Who else conductors? I can't think of any right now. Is that terrible, Jimmy? Those are my two favorite. Colin Davis was okay. George Schulte was a prick. And when I say prick, I mean a real prick. And that was not a good situation. But that's going to be in the book. You guys can read it. Singers. I loved singing. I loved singing with Dolores Ziegler, mezzo. I loved singing with Tatiana Troyanos, but not because of her personality. She was really nuts, but the voice was gorgeous and intense. And you never knew where she was going to be. For tenors, Luciano #1, above all. Luciano, then of course, Placido sometimes. After Placido, Jerry Hadley. After Jerry Hadley, Neil Shikoff. I know. It's a terrible story. Anybody else? Basses. Sam Raimi. Oh my God. Renee Papa. Incredible. Incredible singers. Did I hit every voice part?
You didn't list any other sopranos?
Oh, I like sopranos. I like sopranos a lot. Let me see who. That's so mean. I have to see a roster. Some of my people aren't alive anymore. Believe it or not, I got along very well with Ashley Putnam, although she could always outdrink me, if you could even believe that. Other sopranos, I can't think of anybody right off. You know, it's so hard if I just looked at. But on the whole, I really do like sopranos a lot. I really do.
If
Anybody?
you could sing any role again tonight, what would you want to sing?
Oh, it just depends on my mood.
Well, what's your mood right now?
Um, I don't know. I'm trying to think of, what even my mood could be. So, like, if I could sing something,
Uh-huh.
if I could sing something the way I am now or the way I was.
At any point in when you liked your voice the most, but that's what you would sound like today.
When I sang Trovatore at Covent Garden with Ted Downs conducting, fabulous. The first tenor, can't remember his name, he didn't make it through the whole performance because he had never sung out at a rehearsal. But the rest of the cast had life recus in it. And I have to say, I never loved singing that role as much as I loved it. It was sad when that tenor went, though, because he got so many boos during the curtain. He didn't, no, after his aria, after Asi Ben Mio, and then insisted on trying to sing part of the Pira aria. And so when he went off, everybody just yelled boo. And I was down center praying and going, oh, now what am I supposed to do? Because all there was, I was supposed to get up and turn around and say, Timor di me. I had to turn around and sing that whole big giant 25-minute scene. That was great. I loved it. I loved Trovatore.
Did people stop booing when you started to sing?
Huh?
Did people stop booing when you had to sing?
You could hear a pin drop. Yeah. And at the end, they all they even put it in the review. They said the souls of 500 Gucci loafers couldn't even drown out the bravos for Carol Vaness or some such rigmarole. Some kind of stuff like that. But I like Tosca too. I loved singing Tosca. I always liked working with Muti, and I loved Iphigenie. Now that was, it's things that are fun and comfortable to sing, at least comfortable for me. Like I love Idomeneo. I love singing Doresta Diace. But there's a lot of sit around time, You sing one thing that's not even high, and you can only be so so loud, because it only goes so far. And so, no, I've been very happy with everything I've ever sung. My most favorite thing on earth that I ever sang and acted was probably not as, I didn't sing it as well, was Lady Macbeth. And that, I can't tell you how great it was. I know I didn't sing it as well as a lot of other things because the role's just really kind of a little bit hard for me. I don't know why, because it's a big old giant role, I guess. But I loved every second of it.
Was that the one where you have that really badass picture where there's blood on your hands and the shadows are on your dress? They look
yeah, no, isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's a really awesome picture.
Yeah, that one, also the one where my hands are like this and they're red and I'm yelling at the baritone.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really skinny. I'm so dang skinny. I think I weighed 140 pounds or something. Truly. It's terrible.
Way too tiny for your height.
Way too little. I didn't like it either. Actually, I did like it, only because I wasn't paying attention.
Yes. And I don't have any more questions. There aren't any in the chat, but I actually have one last one. If you could give any advice to your younger self, what would you say to young Carol?
I don't have anything to say to young Carol. I liked how it went, even though it was crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I need all those experiences to inform how I feel about singing and how I feel about how people sing and how they communicate. I don't want to warn myself against something in case, even if it's a crazy thing, it's something that I can keep inside that one day I may need. You know what I mean? Like somebody comes in and they're all freaked out, and I go, "Oh my God, you know what? I was really freaked out too." And let me tell you how just see if this can help you. So yeah, I have nothing to say to me.
That's beautiful. I think to, look back reflectively on your life and to be happy with how everything went, and also understand that regrets are pointless and that you've learned from all those experiences, which has just made you the rich, amazing artist that you are. For all those people who say don't meet your heroes, they haven't met you because you just live up and exceed beyond what we all see in these amazing, iconic recordings. On top of that, you are a beautiful, generous, thoughtful, passionate person. And I just
Thank
want to say
you.
thank you so much for joining us today. I know that all the singers got a lot out of it. I got a lot out of it.
Uh-oh.
I just loved it. Thank you so
Good.
much.
I loved it too. You guys, the best to all of you. And Anna, be in touch. And you too. Anybody can be in touch if you want to be in touch. I'm easy to find.
Yes. And if you want her email, you can reach out to me and I'll get it to you.
Or you can just go Vanessa, Indiana, and you'll find it. All right, so do you want to say that's it, or should I say bye-bye?
I mean, you're the director. You're Carol Vaness. I think you get to decide that we are done.
Good. Eat something really good for dessert, or have a glass of wine. Bye.
Thank you, Carol.